Hey guys, one of my other ideas about how to teach your kids about money is to actually get them to do whole embodied experiences, interacting with it every day, real life money. Now, you don't have to do that as allowance, which I do think is quite a good idea to help them manage money, but some great ideas of how to get them to start understanding this beautiful money. For one, collect your coins. If you're like us, we collect them in here. We have a ridiculous amount of coins, all right? But we just collect them up. If they say, Mum, I'm bored, well, maybe get the money jar and count it and see how much money is in there. It's just a fun way they can just sit at the table and interact with money and count how much it is. It doesn't have to be a lot, okay? It could just be the silvers if you don't want to commit to having too much money in there. But it's just a great way of getting them to interact with money. Remember, whole embodied experiences is how we learn. So even things like when children touch money, especially if they're a kinesthetic learner in the quadrant 3 part of their brain, they are not only understanding by looking at the fact that this says $2, right? But they're looking at things like the fact that it's the color of it, the texture of it, the weight of it, all those kind of things are integrating into their neurology, and that's actually how they're learning. So a picture of it, like a worksheet, counting up money in a maths book, does not do the same thing as actually interacting with this money. The weight, the feel, the texture, everything is communicating to our neurology how this stuff works for us. So let them play with real money. Let them count real money. Give them a little competition. When you take them to the shops, let the children be the one that pays the cashier. You can do this all the way from when they're, 1 year old, is actually say, would you like to give the money to the lady today? Hold them up on your hip, give them the money, and just let them hand it over when they're asked for. It's something so simple, but what you're actually doing is you're teaching them this stuff in my hand, I give it to this person, I get something back. It also builds their confidence and be able to use the money. Once they get a little bit older and say you're at a restaurant or something like that, and they say, oh, Mum, can I get an apple juice? Go, yeah, sure. Here's a couple of dollars. Just go up and say, excuse me, can I please buy an apple juice? Teaching them to actually interact with the money and the people. They're going to receive change. They're going to feel that change. They're going to look at that change and realize that, hey, there's this exchange happening here. Once again, those whole embodied experiences that integrate with our real life, they're the ones that actually sit. They're the ones that integrating deeply and help us to understand. You're going to find that they're going to understand money a lot more if they're interacting with it in real life experiences than if they're just doing it in a maths workbook. If you've got some really high roller kind of kids, I have one of those, very entrepreneurial. You might have different ideas that you can allow them to try and let it come from them. So I've had my children want to make a lemonade stand and sell it out the front of the house, and then take them through the whole process. Okay, how many lemons do we need? How much is that going to cost? All right, what else do we need? We need some cups. How are we going to do that? What else do we need to organize this? How long is it going to take? What are the other ingredients? Get them to organize the budget and realize how much per cup costs and then how much they need to sell it for. So make it a really fun experience. But if it comes from their idea, if you're not like, hey, I want you to do this today, but if it's something that comes from them, they'll be inspired to want to do it and jump on board with their excitement and get it done. It's fun. We've done this before, and our kitchen was a total mess and sticky, but the kids had a great time and they understood things about money, and they even sold some. We've also done it before when my children have done a toy sale where there's certain toys they didn't want anymore. They priced them up themselves. They sat out the front and they made exchanges with the kids down the street. My daughter especially, her ability to upsell was amazing, where she actually bundled things together and sold more than I expected. But once again, they're interacting with money in a way that's important to them. They're going to start understanding how those exchanges go together. And it's so much easier for them to grasp those concepts when they're done slowly. They integrate into their whole real life experiences, and they're whole embodied. They're the feel of the money, the smell of the money, the interaction with somebody else, the exchange back and forth of notes to coins, etc. All those things are actually teaching them far better than if we give them a worksheet or we just talk about it or we just explain it as we do it. Get them involved. That's the best way you're going to teach any concept. Link everything to their life. It engages the quadrant 1 part of them. Let them do a whole embodied experience. It takes that content, the quadrant 2, into the practical quadrant 3. And then when they can reinvent it into a new idea, for example, selling something or creating something themselves, be able to interact or make money, that's how you're going to make sure that they are really going to have a grasp on those concepts and build those pathways that they're learning in school so they can succeed. Have fun with it.